Welcome to the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin Deveji, your host. I'm welcoming you episode 109 in the American Business Podcast. American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. Today we are streaming live from Houston, Texas. Houston is the energy capital of the nation. And quote of the day is the first wealth is health. Today's number is 300 billion. The US digital market is exceeding $300 billion in ad spend in 2024. Speaking of digital marketing, we have a special guest today. I'm going to invite our guest to our virtual stage, and I'm going to get the conversation started together with you. Hello, Gilad. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, fun to be here.
Thank you very much. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Thank you very much. How is your week going so far?
Wow, very, very busy. Q4 is always very, very intense. But really happy to have the weekend almost and excited for the weekend.
Absolutely, yes. December is a special month, really. We are closing the books for the fiscal year, end of the year, and we are getting ready for the new year, budgeting and preparations for the new year 2026. So it's a pretty happening month. On top of it, there are holidays that we need to celebrate and enjoy. So no wonder it's a busy month for all of us. I'm glad you are with us today. Thank you so much for being with us in your busy schedule. Very nice meeting you in the podcast. And as a start, would you please introduce yourself and your organization to our audience and to our listeners, please?
Of course. So my name is Gilad. I'm the CEO and founder of Moburst. Moburst has been around in the last, let's say, 12 years. We are kind of a full digital agency for everything related with growth, helping with the creative, media buying, organic, strategic work, all the way to the development of websites, apps, and everything you need on the digital side. Started 12 years ago and basically helped more than 1,000 brands in those 12 years. Some of them are the largest that you can think of in the industry. Google Maps, YouTube, Chrome, Search, Gmail, Uber, Samsung, those type of beasts, and a lot of startups and early stage companies where they needed to kind of grow from seed round to round A to round B to round C, all the way to an IPO. So we've seen a lot of things that are working and a lot of things that are failing, and how to pivot and change and kind of get you to product market fit, and helping from like all of the different sizes that you can think of, different businesses. Very, very interesting journey for sure.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of American business. And that is why we created this podcast, American Business Podcast, to learn from experts, professionals, leaders like yourself, and share these professional wisdom. I truly appreciate this conversation. Glad, would you please tell us about your career journey? How did you get started? How your career journey has unfolded over the years?
Of course. So I started as at the end of the day, I grew up in Israel. So I grew up in a very different kind of location. I relocated to the US only in 2015. And basically, the business started in 2013. Now, when we kind of built the foundation of the business, it was after many, many years of really understanding how to do digital and how to do mobile marketing really well. So my actual career actually started like in Israel when I joined the army, and basically after the army, I stayed for another 2 years. Like you have to be serving there for 3 years, and then I needed to stay another 2 years because I was like going in a different type of a route that made me to commit for a few more years. And my last role there was like a company commander in the Israeli army, basically helping to shape the lives of new cadets, people that want to become officers in the officers training school. Right after that, I came to the actual first role of mine, like outside of the army. When I was 23, I basically started to go into it was the telecommunication company, satellite company in Israel that basically provides you like the AT&T, so to speak, of the US. And basically where I was there, I studied in social media management and started like from very, very different types of very small roles of marketing. From there, I progressed into becoming like a head of social media and kind of more digital media in another organization. From there, I grew into VP media in an agency. From there, I became a CEO and a partner in an ad network, and then I was a CMO of a startup. So I kind of roll into this type of in lots of different types of roles on the marketing side. At the same time, I started to lecture in Tel Aviv University for mobile marketing and digital marketing and some things related to affiliate marketing and things of that nature. I was a mentor in Microsoft Accelerator for helping them, a lot of companies that raise capital from them, how to maximize their value and how to actually getting them a better experience. So I had a lot of different kind of experiences before opening Marvelous as kind of the, we started as a mobile marketing agency and kind of grew later on into a full digital spectrum, but that was kind of our first niche where we started. And I brought like with me around 8 years of experience into opening my own thing, like instead of just serving others and basically being from a manager to head of to director to VP and then to a CEO, but not in my own company, basically opening my own business later on. So that was kind of what got me into this type of a realm and saying, hey, you know what, I've done enough for others and I want to open my own business.
When you think about your day-to-day work experience, what are the exciting and challenging parts of your work on daily basis?
Wow. So every single day in Mobers is completely different. Like I can find myself in so many different routes. I can have a day where I'm diving into very, very deep challenges with specific departments that we are integrating or creating new sets of skills or capabilities where I actually need to interview new folks that are joining the company. I have days where I'm finding myself jumping from back to back to back to back to back meetings, usually around 12 to 14 meetings a day. And every single one of those meetings could be in a completely different section. Like one is about a new client that want to be onboarded, Fortune 500 company that are looking now for the next for the next vendor for something. It could be diving very, very deep into a board meeting with the entire management of a company about a very strategic act that they need to decide going right or left. And then going into 3 other internal meetings with the VPs and head of departments and management call or things of that nature for our own company. We acquired 5 agencies into our company in the last few years. So having a lot of partner meetings about different things about the structure, and when we're thinking about like engaging in additional M&A activity, like buying additional agencies into us. So a lot of those connections and saying what are the missing pieces in here and what could be actually added as additional value. So my days are so diverse. I don't have even one day that is similar to what I had done before or a day before that. I can find myself like being dragged into 11 different topics in the same day, and each of them get like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, like super optimizing the minute by minute because it's really intense. I have clients that are in the US. I had clients that are outside of the US. So I'm also working very crazy hours where you have international teams that needs also attention during weekdays of theirs, which is the weekends of ours and things of that nature. So I think that every single day is like very, very different. I love what I do. I love helping solving marketing challenges and unlocking growth potential for my clients and for my peers. So it's a lot of fun, but it's very, very intense. And every single day is a bit different with new concepts, new ideas, new marketing initiatives, new challenges, AI that comes and basically changing the entire status quo of so many things. So it's always exciting. It's also very much, let's say, heavy on what you need to be focusing on and actually staying focused every single day for so many hours.
What is the most important reason of your success?
Uh, important reason for success. I think that I never get no as an answer. Like I think that like I just continue on pushing. Some things fail, some things succeed. But like always kind of striving to do better and always saying, okay, so this didn't work. How do we bypass that? How do we actually go around it? How do we make it still like the main goal is still the same goal. This method didn't work. How can we bypass that? How can we actually find an alternative route to get that done? And still kind of having our eyes on the North Star, which is, again, the goals, the KPIs, the things that we have to meet.
You're in digital marketing industry. How do you see the state of industry nowadays? What are the challenges and opportunities that you see in digital marketing industry in US?
Wow, I think that the digital marketing industry in the US is in a very, very sensitive place where AI every single day changes the status quo on so many things. Like, you used to say, hey, you know what, if we're running on Facebook ads, or if we're running Instagram ads or Google ads, Apple search ads, whatever type of a campaign that you're running, you need a lot of expertise. You need to create the right creative for the right user, for the right message to the right person on the right platform. And then how do we create those type of magical moments where they actually motivate the user to take the action that we want them to take? But right now, with the verge of AI, AI can create you ads, AI can create you copy, AI can actually optimize the campaign, AI can find you the right audiences and the right placements. So what is the even the main kind of role of an agency? What is the role of a marketeer? If you can ask ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity or Claude the questions that before that you needed that level of expertise, but now you have a PhD level in the marketing side of every single one of those things. What is still the main value of a marketeer? What is the main value of an agency? So I think that this industry is changing extremely rapidly, and I think that, like, you need to be able to find a lot of automations and a lot of things that will drag all of the time-sucking things that someone just need to do, all of the reporting, all of the things that are taking you a lot of time but not necessarily bring the value. You need to do them because without them you won't be able to complete your job. But finding the things that you can actually bring that are bringing much more value. And I think that, like, when you're thinking about the digital marketing in general, Mark Zuckerberg saying, hey, you know what, next year you're just connecting your bank account to Facebook, and Facebook will create you the ads, find you the audience, and will get you the action that you want. So if basically those platforms saying, hey, we don't need marketeers anymore, you don't need agencies anymore, just connect this with that, and we'll do the rest. There are a lot of different shifts about what is that value, how to actually still build a brand, how to still build a memorable experience for the consumer, how to actually make something that will actually make an impact over time and not just performance side and things of that nature. So I feel like the storytelling part and the part of actually making a very memorable impact on the consumer is something that's going to be very, very important with AI, without AI. But I think that AI changes the entire processes, the entire protocols, the entire even approach of how we are approaching an ad, like creating a creative. It used to be something that, okay, now we need to do a video production and hire 20 folks and getting a few different locations. Now you can prompt the same type of an ad, and you don't need to pay that heavy premium and still be able to get a fantastic asset. So I think that on each and every side of the digital marketing space, the entire industry is changing and reshaping what is the value of a specific asset, how much you want to pay or you're willing to pay for that, and also what will be the outcome out of that specific action. So the entire industry is being in a very, very interesting place. And definitely a very exciting time to be a marketeer, but it changes. Like, what you've done in 2024, if you're doing it in 2025, you're probably doing it wrong, because the pace of change is so rapid in this industry that I feel like every single day you learn new things, and every single day you have new features, new sets of capabilities, new sets of options in front of you. So it's very exciting and very kind of different than before, if you will.
Speaking of AI, will AI ever replace digital marketing agencies in the future? What do you think?
I think that the role of a trusted advisor for the C-level executive that basically needs to tell them, my friend, this is the right way to go, this is the wrong way to go. Yes, you can consult with GPT, you can consult with Gemini or any one of those, and they're brilliant models. Don't get me wrong, I'm using them every single day. But I feel like the level of connection that you have, the level of understanding of that specific brand, the level of understanding things that are not written, like I'm working with some of the companies that we are working with. some of the CEOs are very, very different than other CEOs. The level of expertise of what you have inside of the company is not something that will enable you or disable you to do things. So, if you're asking ChatGPT, for example, should I actually go after this vertical? It will tell you from the market standpoint if this is something that could be valuable for you or not, regarding the audience or the offering or things of that nature. But telling you that inside of your company right now, the marketing department that you have is not fit to actually handle those changes, and you have to hire another CMO, for example. You have to hire another kind of department to actually handle with influencer marketing, or like to actually be able to hit that with a Spanish speaker expert. So you need to kind of be positioning yourself in a completely different way. I don't think that that's something that the LLMs will ever change. I don't think that AI will actually change that part. I think the trusted advisors will still be something that's going to be very, very valuable. The dirty work, the hard work, the things that, the reporting and the research, and a lot of different things that, yes, you can definitely do with AI. But I think that the level of understanding of the entire situation, like both internally and externally, and even the mental state and the level of risk taking of that specific company or their shareholders or their management team, that's something that I feel like going to be very hard to be replaced by AI. I think that that's exactly where the role of humans will play a part, and actually be able to say what will make sense for the organization, what will not make sense for the organization. I think that AI will help us with a lot of tedious tasks that no one wants to do, and there is no reason to do anymore, because if you can automate things, that's fantastic. But I feel like I look on AI like a chef. So I can taste it in my mouth. I don't know exactly how the work was done. I trust it that it's okay, that it's not poisonous. I can taste it. If it doesn't taste well, I can tell you, okay, it's too salty, or it's not in the right flavor. I can tell you, okay, this is not the best asset, or not the best type of a thing. And my role is basically to judge it if it's good enough, and if it's something that I can actually use or not use. And how it was being cooked, so to speak, is something that, yeah, AI will probably be able to deliver me a lot of different types of assets. Like, it's like a massive kitchen that can cook me all of the different types of dishes that you can think of. But the biggest question is, like, is it in my flavor? Is it something that I feel that I can resonate with? Is it something that I want to continue on consuming? And that's where I feel like the role of a human will still be to get the information, get the data, get the deliverables that you wanted, and now saying, is it good enough? Is that what I wanted to see? Is that the type of things that actually suits and kind of help me to get to the goals that I set in front of me?
Nowadays, what are the best marketing practices for the highest ROI?
Wow, it's so differentiated between each and every platform, each and every industry. I think that, like, you'll find industries that influencer marketing is killing it today. That when you're going after influencer marketing and actually find the right user with the right message, and basically being able to impact their community, you'll have magical things that are happening. You have other industries where influencer marketing would not make too much sense, because if it's a hyper local type of a campaign, let's say that it's a new dating app in New York City, it doesn't make sense to go with influencer marketing. You might want to have content that looks like influencer content. Someone shot themselves saying, yeah, I'm using this app, it's fantastic, it works, and all of those things. So it looks very trustworthy, but you won't going to use influencers, because usually influencer, let's say it's someone that has 3 million followers, for example. So probably 2.9 million followers out of them, the vast majority, more than 95% of them, would be outside of New York City. And then if you are paying that influencer now 20 grand for that type of engagement, 95% of it will go toward the wrong audience, so to speak. So there are places where influencer marketing is doing fantastic work. There are other places where you have to have targeted ads around the radius of the area that you want to impact. There are other avenues where you're saying, hey, you know what, Reddit could be a fantastic growth hacking tactic, where I'm actually communicating only with communities that are passionate about tennis, and then telling them about a new tennis racket or a new tennis ball that just, get me back the balls or things of that nature. Like, you can find the specific communities, and you can find the specific ways of impacting your audience. If it's B2B or if it's B2C, it's a completely different thing. If you're going to consumers, or if you're going to try to market yourself to businesses, how you're actually delivering that type of a message, what type of credentials does someone need to make in order to actually make an impact on that specific industry or business. It's completely different. LinkedIn could play a big part of impacting business leaders, for example, compared to Meta or Google, for example, that will impact any other consumer out there. So it really depends on the niche and the specific industry. And there are lots of different best practices for every single one of those businesses. The website is always very, very important about kind of the key of the brand, about how to tell the story of that brand. It's the heart of the brand, but there are so many other things that are involved with that. Like when you're thinking about, when you're asking something ChatGPT and seeing the answer that it answers you about how ChatGPT sees that brand or sees that vendor or things of that nature, or when you're looking on other like review sites and things of that nature that are kind of giving you the stamp of approval or saying, oh yeah, it's a new thing, 2 employees, I'm not sure that you want to actually put your trust over there. So a lot of those things are kind of the trust signals is something that is much more robust. And because of that, each and every industry and each and every niche has different best practices for their marketing acts to really build their level of trust and confidence to have someone to buy your service or giving you a lead or basically being purchasing your subscription or things of that nature.
From your point of view, how do you define leadership and what are the great qualities of a leader?
Wow. I think that a leader needs a lot of like understanding on their niche and understanding where they want to go. A lot of times, you have to make very uncomfortable decisions. A lot of time you need to make a very unpopular decisions. When you're looking on the grand scheme of things and saying, well, this is a fantastic employee of mine, and they have given their heart and soul for the company, but the company evolved a lot and they didn't really catch up with that level of involvement. And we try to give that person another chance and another chance and trying to get them to the right pace, so to speak. And sometimes people are dragging behind, and sometimes people don't want to evolve. They don't want to change. They used to do the same thing in the same way that was fantastic for you 3 years ago. And now you need to take it into a different direction because AI changed everything, or the market has changed, or a new set of capability added. And now you can't do it in the same way how you used to do that 5 years ago. So I think that leadership is a lot of time basically the courage to say that it's not what we want, it's not what we were hoping for, but we have to cut and actually move right or left to a place where we know that it's the right decision for the business. It's very uncomfortable decision to make because you never want to have dispute, you never want to fire anyone, you never want to say someone that are not meeting expectations. Like all of those things are things that are hard to say, hard to communicate, touching a very personal nerve. But I think that it's the courage of navigating to the right direction, to get to the KPI, to the main goal of what the organization tries to get to, and basically unblocking all of the things that are blocking you in the way. And it could be around process, it could be about talent, it could be about budgets, it could be like taking a big risk. And now, hey, we are buying this additional unit in, and yes, it gets us way out of our comfort zone, but I know that 1 + 1 equals so much more than 2. We have to actually bring those 2 pieces together and connect them, and magical things will happen. And being courage enough to say, this is the decision that I make, whether my management, my partners, my VPs thinks that this is the right decision or not. If I truly believe that this is the right decision, that's the thing that I need to go after, and chasing that and getting it all the way. And I think that that's part of leadership, and basically being able to make decisions that are not necessarily the most popular or not necessarily the most the easiest decisions. Usually it takes you out of your comfort zone.
Have you had any role models, any mentors in your career journey?
Yeah, for sure. So we started as a very, very young company. We had like 6 folks back in the day, and we had 3 opportunities of actually raising capital, and it kind of helped us to scale up our efforts and our capabilities and our size. And after we've done the third round of investment, that was back in 2014, 15, we got a chairman for the first time. And that chairman came from 10 and a half years. He was a partner in McKinsey for 10 and a half years. And he came, and for the first time, instead of actually agreeing with me on direction and getting excited with me about the potential and things of that nature, started to ask me very difficult questions. Like we were making an informed decision to lose every month for around $50,000, not really lose, just like invest $50,000 in growing faster, because we raised capital, we could afford to actually make a loss and not just being profitable every month. And what he kept on challenging me, saying, yeah, I know that we decided to basically lose up to $50,000 or invest up to $50,000 every month while we grow, while we're actually getting into massive clients. And again, you bring all of the right receipts of, look at what type of clients we managed to onboard. This is fantastic. But are you sure that the model that you build is the right model? Are you sure that if we're now saying, hey, we don't want to lose anymore, can you actually bring it to profitability tomorrow morning if you would want to? And I think that every single time that he asked me that question, it kind of puts a mirror in front of me. I, initially said, yeah, of course. What do you mean? I can just let go of those specific roles or stop investing that much on marketing, and here we go. We could be profitable. But he kept on challenging the status quo and asking how good are the systems you have for tracking hours per person, per department, per every single one of the business units that you have. Are you sure that each and every role that you're opening today in the company, because we keep on hiring more folks and we keep on bringing on more clients, how are you sure that it's still balanced in a way where it's the right type of a structure for us for the longer run? And I think that like he challenged me on a lot of different things that for me were very easy. Someone from the client team said, hey, we're working so hard, 200 hours, 250 hours per month. We have to bring another person to alleviate the stress. It's like, yeah, of course, let's open them another role and help them to make. No one wants to have the entire team sweating so much and things of that nature. But he kept on challenging me on how are we building a model that will be something that will be scalable while we grow, while the partners are changing, while the systems are not necessarily in place, while the systems are changing, while we are opening new teams, new sets of capabilities, new departments. So I think that he taught me a lot about making sure that we are not just running fast and breaking things and saying, yeah, that makes sense and that makes sense. And then you find yourself, hey, wait a minute, I have here 9 people that now I need to see what I'm doing because one client actually moved right or left, but actually building that in a much more sustainable way where I have a lot of different monitors throughout the organization to make sure that I'm going in the right direction.
Is there a book, a movie, a show that help you shape your career perspective over the years?
Yeah, I think that I have 2 books that I really love, and I think that it's like very, very smart for any marketeers and non-marketeers in general. One of them is Nudge, and Nudge basically it's like it kind of gets you to a point where the marketing basically makes you go in a specific direction because of the way that it was designed. So just for example, if you have a smoking area outside of the building, and basically if you're putting their ashtrays, people will actually smoke there. If you don't put their ashtrays and you don't put there any garbage cans, people will not feel comfortable of smoking there. And if you want to actually basically take it away from the entrance of the building, if you're actually putting that in another corner and actually design the entrance in a different way, it won't going to be there. So not just like how you're actually designing the systems, designing the world, basically the marketing side of and it's like the marketing side of psychology to actually help you do things that you don't even realize that you've done just because of the way that they were designed. So I think that that's a brilliant book. And besides that, Never Split the Difference. Never Split the Difference is probably the best negotiation book that I've ever read. Chris Voss, brilliant guy. I read it, and later on I saw his masterclass about it, and later on I also listened to him on a few other mediums. Really brilliant book about the art of negotiation. You negotiate every single day about everything. It could be with your wife, or your kids, with your colleagues, with your employees, with your employer, with any type of entity. And how to not split the difference. How to not, hey, I'm at 50, you're 100. Let's split it on 75. It's exactly the opposite. Like how to still get you. If I want 100, how to actually get you to the 100 really, really smart book, and I definitely recommend it. It's definitely changing your perspective.
What is your biggest passions and interest outside of work?
So I think that I found that I like really skiing. So I was taking a ski vacation in the last 3 years with my daughter. She was 8 when we started, and then when she was 8, we've done it for the first time, just me and her, going to Colorado and basically going on the mountains with a ski instructor and figuring out how the hell can we ski. And then it became like a yearly ritual. So this year, my son, who is now turning 10, saying, "Hey, I want to join with you guys as well." And I said, "Okay, you can join us because we are currently in a much higher level than you. But let me and you go now to the mountains and learn how to do that." So flying from Florida to Breckenridge in Colorado, and basically learning how to ski together with him, again with an instructor for 5 days, and actually going through this process. So I think that like probably one of my biggest kind of passions is like spending a quality time with the family. Because I'm very, very busy, I don't have the luxury of doing it as much as I want to. But when we do have the time, and I'm trying very hard to make the time every single day, and also during some weekends and travel getaways and things like nature, to have a lot of time with my family and basically spending time with my kids and my wife.
What is the best advice that you ever received?
Uh, Best advice that I've ever received. I think that like not getting no as an answer. It's a very Israeli thing. I feel like this type of, it's called like the Israeli chutzpah. Like that you will not hold it in the stomach. If you think something and you know something that this is the right way to do that, or that doesn't make any sense, go and change it. Do whatever you need in order to change it, and don't get no as an answer. And I think that this is something that is like very much part of the DNA of how I'm doing things from the first role that I had all the way to till today. Of like nothing is impossible if you be creative enough, if you have the right data, if you'll take bold actions, you will be able to do the things that you want to do.
What is the worst advice you ever received?
The worst advice is that if something doesn't work for you and you're trying that twice, just let it be and focus on other areas. And I think that this is just, we have so many things that we are testing the first time and the second time, and it's not quite there yet. And if I would given up on those, I would probably be in a completely different place in my career, in my business, and in general. Like the amount of mistakes that I've done throughout the careers is insane. Like we have done every single mistake in the book. But as long as you're learning extremely fast from it, and as long as you have a feedback loop to be able to question yourself, what, not just how I fix that specific problem, but what made me take the wrong decision, and how do I actually can block the process that made me do the wrong decision. This is where you actually get into a much better place, and continue on getting on the right track.
So, um, are there any questions in your mind that you were expecting me to ask you, but I haven't asked you?
I think that the only thing that I can think about on that side is like I probably something about the growth. Like we experience growth with crazy clients, like amazing list of clients, probably the most luxury brands that you can think of. Working with YouTube and Uber and Samsung and Reddit and then Microsoft, like a crazy brands. So I would probably expect you to ask me like one of those learnings, or who was the hardest or who was the easiest
Yes.
client,
How
or
did
things of
you?
the
How did you? Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, that's great. Let's complete the interview. That's going to be full circle. So yeah,
yeah.
actually, to your point, absolutely. So you mentioned great brands earlier when you were introducing the organization. So how is your experience working with large brands, great brands, working with them, and how did you get them as a client, and how the experience has been working with them?
Yeah, I have to say that some of the brands that we won over the years reached out to us, just knocked on our website saying, "Hey, yeah, we're looking for this or this and that," and basically we were part of an RFP process. They were looking for 5 or 8 different agencies, and they tried to say, "Okay, so pitch us about this. This is the budget. This is the goal that we are trying to get to," and if your pitch will be the best, we will obviously work with you. And I think that one of the things that we've learned over the years is that each and every one of the brands, even though that are massive, and again, some of them are, super inspiring people, and on each and every one of those companies, you have insane amount of talent. The bureaucracy of each and every organization is so much different. I had a Fortune 10 company that signed us a new deal of basically wanting them to launch a new process within a matter of 3 days. I have another Fortune 500 companies that took 9 months from the time that their president said, let's do that, it's really important for us, till the procurement managed to onboard us as a new vendor for their system. So you see so much difference between the different companies about how they act, how they are, basically how innovative they are, how much restrictive they are on different things. You still have companies that are saying, okay, but in the service agreement, commit to us that you're not using any AI. I'm saying like, okay, I may not use AI if you don't want it to be used, but why? If it can save us time, it can save you cost, it can get you so much more things. No, we can't have our data to be trained by AI. So okay, no problem. Again, we can have that in an isolated place where the AI will not learn anything from that, and we have a way to kind of put it in a black box, and not even saying who's the company and how all of those things are connecting together. And the level of fear that you see on some of those companies, and on the other side, the level of innovation that you see on others it's crazy. And each and every one of those beasts, even though that they have, some of them have hundreds of thousands of employees, and some of them have tens of thousands of employees, the level of bureaucracy and the level of political aspects that they need to go through, and red tape that they need, to actually do something new or things like nature is insane. And I think that like you have very smart people within those organizations that help to navigate through the right path. But I think that the organizational structure a lot of times prohibit them to be as innovative as they want and as fast moving as they want. And I also only had like 2 Fortune 500 companies that were moving with us with a crazy pace. And the rest were so slow and took so much more time than what they wanted. They wanted to launch something in February, and they only managed to launch it in April because of their internal bottlenecks and their internal challenges and things of that nature. So again, very interesting, but it's like one company doesn't say anything about the other company that could be like a sister company.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, what is your career advice for the next generation business professionals?
So I think that like when you think about career advice, I would say get your hands dirty as fast as you can. I think like if you can go into a business and start from the most junior role possible, instead of now burning 4 years in this university and then another 3 years on that university to get a kind of a BA and then an MBA, and continue on advancing your career through the educational path. I think that the current educational path in most of the countries in the world, in most of the universities in the world, is not where it should be. And I think that it doesn't set you up for success. I think that it gives you a lot of tools that you may use, but I think that if you are working now for 4 years or 7 years in your professional career and the things that you want to get into, and you have a real work experience from talented people that are working aside you, the amount of learning that you'll be able to have, and the amount of tools that you'll be able to achieve, and the experience that you'll have, going to be so much more valuable than if you're someone that just finished 7 years of a first degree and a second degree, and then coming to apply now and have no experience whatsoever, compared to someone that brings with them no degree, but 7 years of experience, hands-on experience on the latest tools, on the latest capabilities, on the latest type of trends, and really know the ins and outs of the industry. I think that way too many people are spending a fortune on a high education, and that high education basically is not really bringing you the same type of a value, because what they're training you now in BA or MBA, and what AI will allow you to do in a matter of 3 months, they will teach you about what was right 5 years ago. What was right a year ago is not being written just yet by those universities, and it's already irrelevant for the workforce of tomorrow. So I think that there is a massive gap, and AI is only increasing it by so much. that I don't think that today, like going after the academy right now, unfortunately, I'm saying it with a situation where I hope that it will be changed. But right now, I don't think that this is a good investment when you're thinking about the career path. I think like as getting your hands dirty as fast as you can, test all of the different tools, test all of the different platforms themselves, use AI and try to break it and try to remake it and try to go around it. You'll be able to progress in your career and in your in things that you basically want to achieve in a very, very different pace compared to going on the route of going to the higher education side.
In the American Business Podcast, in this episode, do you have any questions you would like to ask me?
Yeah, I would love to ask you, Kevin, who was the most inspiring leader that you've met through this type of a journey, and why?
You mean during the podcasting journey?
Yes.
Well, so this is our 108th episode. I have 109 actually. So
Wow.
yeah, I've been meeting with different business professionals from different industries. It's really hard to say. They all like yourself. You bring a wealth of background and professional insight. I had interviews this morning as well. I also learned from them. I have to say, every single guest that I met, I always learn something. So I can say just one, but I have to say every single episode that I'm streaming, I'm also learning from you firsthand, and that's a fascinating experience, I have to say. And that is what makes the podcast a great venue for learning and continuous improvement as a professional. So I truly appreciate this opportunity, sincerely. So for those who like to continue this conversation, who like to learn more about your organization and who like to be in touch with you, what is the best way for our audience to be in touch with you to learn more about your organization and activities?
Of course. So you can look us up online, Moburst. It's moburst.com. Or if you want to reach out to me personally, my name is Gilad Bechar on LinkedIn. I have there a pretty large presence, and basically always happy to connect with new leaders, with new CEOs, with new business leaders that need to make decisions about different things about the marketing or growth or challenges that they are experiencing. And if we can help in any way, we would love to do that.
Thank you so much for being with us in your busy schedule. And also, um, well, because of my profession, my background is business software, and we meet many different businesses. And one of our systems that we offer is actually our CRM software system. So because of this, we meet with many different companies, and they are looking for marketing services sometimes as well. So I'll follow up with you. Maybe we can connect, and that may be a good opportunity to discuss further. So I'll send you an email separately. And I'd like to thank you for your time, truly. I know you are very busy, and time is very important for you. And in your busy schedule, you actually spend time with us and share your professional wisdom and your professional insights. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, pleasure is all mine, and I wish you a great weekend.
You too. Have a good one.
Thank you. Well, to our audience and to our listeners, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was actually very insightful, and I'm sure you learned something new. I definitely did. And that is the beauty of the American Business Podcast. We design it in a way that it's informative, it is educational, and there is no better way than learning from other business professionals who's been there, who experience it, who actually know how business runs, and we learn from them, from their professional background, from their professional experience. That's a great opportunity for all of us, and I'm glad that you are supporting us in the American Business Podcast, and it means a lot to us. In this sense, if you like to be in the American Business Podcast, if you like to be a guest, you can send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. We welcome it. We love to hear from you. We are very responsive to our emails. Also, if you'd like to share your insights, your feedback, who would you like to see in the American Business Podcast? What other guests would you like us to invite to the American Business Podcast? Please send us an email. Let us know how we are doing and who you would like to see in the American Business Podcast. And we'll do our best to invite those guests and keep the American Business Podcast growing and going further. We also welcome advertisers and sponsors to American Business Podcast. You can also send us an email if you are interested in advertising and sponsoring the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. Please send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. I also like to invite you to our website, americanpodcast.tv, americanpodcast.us. That is our official website. We keep it updated weekly basis. You can see our coming schedule, coming guests, and subjects we will cover in the American Business Podcast. As you know, the American Business Podcast is a YouTube Silver Award winning business podcast. Right now we are in top 1% in YouTube business category as a podcast. Thank you for your support. Because of your support, we come here and we have a great pipeline moving into the next year. We're going to have more guests, great guests with a lot of professional insights and professional wisdom, and we'll keep this learning journey going together. If you haven't done so, please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. It is very important to us. It really helps us. This is the QR code that you can scan, and it will take you to our YouTube page. Right away, you can subscribe and you can join us. And if you are feeling more generous, you can also leave your comments in the chat box and tell us how we are doing, and let us know what you think about the subjects that we talk about: AI, professional growth, leadership. Tell us about your view and leave your comment in the chat box. Really appreciate it. Great. What else is happening? As you know, every month we organize online business networking event. We call this Connectional America Business Alliance online networking event, CABA in short, CABA, streamed and powered by the American Business Podcast. This month's online business networking event is scheduled for December 19, starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time Zone. What is cool about and what is unique about this online business networking event is that you'll be networking and you'll be podcasting at the same time. What does that mean? Well, it means you'll be able to network with other business professionals online. At the same time, you'll be here streaming live on the American Business Podcast in front of thousands of the American Business Podcast followers and supporters. That's what is unique about it. So it's a great experience. I hope you can join us. We have limited seating because of the specialty and exclusivity of this event. If you scan this QR code on the screen, it will take you to our registration page. You can sign up, and I hope you can join us. That is for December 19 at 9:30 a.m. in Eastern Time Zone. And that is our last online networking event for this year. And more is going to be coming in 2026. And before you end the year, 2025, if you like to introduce yourself, your products, your services, your company, this online networking event is a great opportunity. And I'll be the moderator of this event, and I hope you join us. Anywhere apps. If you are in business, you need business software. That is why Anywhere apps have been created. Anywhere apps actually is a software product portfolio, a family of software products designed for small and mid-sized companies. Consists of CRM systems, workflow engines, as well as contract management and document management software products. And these systems run standalone. They are also ready to integrate to your accounting system as well as your ERP software system. Easy to use, modern systems for those who are thinking about digitizing and automating business processes at your organization. Consider Anywhere apps. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code. It'll take you to their website. You can learn more about Anywhere apps and what type of business software products Anywhere apps actually offering. And if you're interested, make sure to contact them and make sure that you tell them that you heard about them in the American Business Podcast. If you are in healthcare, defense industry, aerospace, and other highly regulated industries, when it is time for you to recycle your electronics, you need a secure and safe environment and specialized company for recycling. That is why Pupfish USA Sustainability Solutions has been created many years ago. They are specialized in recycling electronics, hard drives, laptops, and other electronics. And once they do recycle it, erase all your data in a safe and secure facility of theirs. They also document it, and they create also certificates and reports for this destruction and recycling of your electronics. I actually have been there. They have a secure work environment, a facility, and they document everything. And more importantly, they are great people to work with. You love working with Pupfish USA team. And if you are in need of data destruction and recycling your electronics in a safe and secure facility, consider Pupfish USA. I have their QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code. It'll take you to their website. And when you are in touch with them, make sure you mention discount code ABP to get discount from them, and make sure that you tell them that you heard about them in the American Business Podcast. If you like to build teams, team bonding, consider SpotCorp Events. They are specialized in creating events to build teams and team bonding. That is their specialty and expertise. If you're interested in creating this type of events, consider SpotCorp Events. They work with HR teams. They work with teams that have been trying to build bonding within organization. And also SpotCorp Events team, also I know them very well. That's also a great team. You love working with them. Very creative team. The creativity is actually really impressive. If you ask me, their CEO actually was our guest in one of the American Business Podcast episodes. I actually had a great conversation before. So consider SpotCorp Events for team building events. I have their QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, it'll take you to their website, and you can get in touch with them and start the conversation. If you are interested in learning Microsoft Excel and other Microsoft Business Software systems, consider Ms. Excel. They have a fun and engaging way of teaching business software systems. I have the QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, it'll take you to their website. You can see their course catalog. You can pick the courses that you like based on your interest and need. And before you check out, make sure to use the discount code coming from the American Business Podcast for 25% discount. It is ABP 2025, ABP 2025, that you can use this discount code when you are checking out. But as you know, in the American Business Podcast, we promote books, business books, as well as conferences. One of the conferences that we promote is Live to Lead conference. It is scheduled for January 23rd, 2026. It is coming up, and it is designed for leadership building. If you are interested in building your leadership skills and capabilities, consider going Live to Lead conference. And Joseph Beauchamp and Beauchamp team will be leading this conference. Joseph Beauchamp is a leadership guru. I also had the pleasure of having one of his presentations, and he talked about leadership in the age of AI. It was fascinating and very insightful. A great leadership group, that is for sure. I am also planning to be in this event, and if you're interested in, make sure to scan the QR code. It'll take you to their website, and there is a registration page right there that you can register and join Live to Lead conference in January. Great. That's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching the American Business Podcast. American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend. Thank you.